in Miami. We're having a cold winter day today. It's 20 degrees Celsius.
Do you have some spicy ingredients?
Everything right here. Let's get my celery also. I feel like we're on a cooking show now.
I feel like you would really like to be on a cooking show.
I would love it. My favorite thing to do to relax is to cook.
What would you cook if people would come over for dinner night?
I'm really into Japanese food. If they're fish eaters, they're probably gonna be like a miso cod or some salmon with some sushi rice.
It's the Super Bowl soon. I think you're a Washington Commander fan.
So I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, lifelong Skins Commanders fan. When I grew up, they were always winning. They were like the best team. And I remember when I was like 8 years old, the quarterback of the Redskins broke his leg on a game, and I stayed up all night and I was crying with my mom about it. It was like really, it's like a very like family and also community thing. In fact, I even took off school, I think, to go to a parade when the Redskins won. So I was a big fan. And I just kind of also just like love in life relating to the underdog. As startup founders, we're always trying to show the world that we can do things that most people are skeptical and don't believe.
I think we can start with our drink, Spicy Maria. First, we're gonna add the tomato juice, and we're eyeballing everything, so I'm trusting your chef intuitions.
I drink many a Bloody Mary, so this one should be pretty easy. I like a tequila Mary better than vodka Mary, to be honest. I'm going to skip that for now so we can go virgin.
Is Bloody Mary your favorite drink?
I would say margaritas, different variations. Love tequila, really good tequila, no hangover. On a Friday night, you can expect that like after a long work week, it'll probably be like 2 margaritas with that dinner.
I'm gonna get my tomato juice.
In the meantime, I'm going to ask you about the name, betashop. Where it comes from?
I started a company called Social Median back in 2008. We were like the first kind of social news feed back before there was a Facebook news feed. Social media became really big really fast. I had 6 million users within 6 months. And I sold the company like 11 months later. And the Twitter handle I had at the time was for Social Median. Like, so the personal and the work was the same one. I was trying to figure out what to do next. And I started doing some investing. I invested in a company called TweetDeck and a few other startups. Someone said, look, sounds like you're building a little shop collection of beta products. And that kind of morphed in, okay, let's just call this beta shop, helping founders go from like idea to something that's like, really interesting. All right, I got the tomato juice. What are we doing next?
We add the Tabasco or another hot sauce if you have.
I'm doing a combination. I'm doing Mexican and Thai. So we've got a Thai sweet chili and a Tallulah Mexican sauce that's like sweet and spicy.
The Tallulah sauce again taco.
This is probably the best thing I've ever done talking about right now because I've always wanted to have kind of a pseudo cooking show. My friend Mark Stover, who runs Factory PR, he lives around the corner. I've known him for 20 years. Mark is always like, we need to have a show called Jason Cooks, where we just talk about startups. That's basically what we do every other week. Like he and his husband come over and friends of ours, and we just talk. We're doing it. I'm really excited about this.
We can add some horseradish puree.
I'm gonna do some lime. So I took my celery stick. I jumped ahead. This is delicious. This is amazing. I hope yours is good too.
Cheers. Cheers.
Delicious. The horseradish is the key to the Bloody Mary.
And I think it's the best recipe so far that we had on the show.
What's the most illegal thing you've done?
Oh my gosh. I've done some fun things in Berghain. I don't know if they're illegal or not. This didn't feel very illegal in Berghain, so I'm going to go with that.
I feel like nothing is... Oh, probably a few things are illegal.
Everything goes there, yeah.
You have to either say what it was or you have to take a sip with spice.
Gosh. I'm going to take a sip.
Who did you hear the most upsetting things about Moxie from? Can you name the person?
Oh, Super Anon is the worst. Freaking, people love hiding behind these anonymous kind of like, no one wants to say mean stuff, face to face or showing their face. Haters be haters. Our job is to prove them wrong.
Who's a person that you wish wasn't around, but you still act politely because of the circumstances?
I'm so hot and cold on Elon. I can't say that I wish he wasn't around, but there's so many things that he does that just make me cringe. But on the other hand, he's a net positive for humanity. And then I used to think that about Trump, to be honest. I used to think this guy is just the worst. And I've come around to that the chaos that Trump creates and his willingness to just push forward with free markets and trying to move things like crypto are net positive. But then there's other things he does that are just like so freaking cringe. Like, just, was that a good enough question? Like, yeah, okay.
Rank your co-founders based on the talent.
My co-founders, I can't rank them. They're all, I can't do it. We all are best at what we do, but no one's better than the other on like overall. Do I have to drink? I have to drink, right? I like spice. It's good.
What's the most inappropriate thought you've had during a serious situation, but you've never been caught?
Oh gosh, I've been on a Zoom call with a business partner and thought the other person on the other side of the call was super sexy.
Okay.
Not going to be specific though.
About social graphs, how would you define each of your personalities and social graphs on those platforms?
So my own social journey is start off really big on Facebook and was sharing with all my friends and family on Facebook, using Twitter for business. And then Instagram kind of replaced Facebook. Instagram is very big in kind of the gay community. So a lot of my friends are on Instagram. Not a big TikTok person. Farcaster's like this different segment of work social network than Twitter for me. And I think there's like a new graph that's emerging, which is like the on-chain graph. And the on-chain graph is not just like what you're posting, it's also what you're buying.
A lot of things to unpack and like data to use in a completely different and new way.
2 hours ago, I was with our team. We were doing like a little demo of a product we're about to launch, an AI engine that summarizes what's hot amongst the people you follow. So summarizing what's hot is we're combining what people are doing on Twitter and on Webcast or Farcaster and what they're buying on chain and bringing that all to one summary. Just combining it and seeing, okay, this is what people are saying and this is what they're actually doing. And here's like the trends to see and what's this big group of people. Super interesting stuff.
What is that one scenario in which you think Moxie would die? What would lead to this point?
So at this point, Moxie's kind of completely independent of Farcaster. We started Moxie in the end of July as like, we really wanted to be the creator economy on Farcaster. And over the last few months, while we all love Farcaster, what we haven't seen is like the growth on Farcaster that would justify Moxie being just within Farcaster. The strategy that we laid out at the end of last year was a two-step approach. We called it like a 1-2 punch. It was expand on base and X by Christmas. And then that was like punch number 1. And then punch number 2 was to then layer on some magical utility to why people should care about Moxie, which is this AI I'm talking about. So we expanded on base and X again, right before Christmas last year. And all of our numbers have just gone boom since then. So we are 100% committed to it. We have an amazing vision of what we're trying to achieve.
We just saw Trump list these meme coins just before inauguration. Do you have some ideas like how Moxie could be used instead of just meme coins?
The foundation of Moxie was launching whatever you want to call it, like social coins or creator coins. That's like a foundation of Moxie. And so we do think that as a launch pad for these creator coins, the Moxie is very well situated. The place where we're most focused on right now is just like this intersection of crypto and AI. So how do we say, okay, because I own these people's coins, I get all this intelligence and insight about them. So it gives you more of a reason why you'd want to own their coins and other things that you can do with the crypto and AI.
What would you do with people to crash TikTok if it was existing right now?
Yeah, so the background was in 2016, I started building an app. The intent was essentially crypto TikTok. And so in 2016, when we realized that crypto just wasn't there yet to build consumer apps, and we thought we could, so we built this consumer app and it was like, oh yeah, there's no layer 2 blockchains yet, so you'd have to run all these transactions on Ethereum. That'd be way too expensive. So we started working on layer 2 technology, and then I was like, oh, and the wallet technology back then sucks. We started building wallets. We built a smart contract wallet inside of the Peepo app. Actually, Peepo in 2018, we debuted Peepo. We launched an app. We actually were the first crypto app with a crypto native kind of smart contract wallet accepted in the App Store by Apple, but it was just way too soon. I'll tell you one other interesting thing that happened. There was like 10,000 people who were using Peepo. I'd say average was a couple thousand a day, making these like front-facing videos of themselves doing stuff. And it was really boring. And what I mean is like watching videos of like crypto founders talking or crypto like was so freaking boring. We would open the app every day and just like swipe. Nope, boring. And they'd be like, hey, it's Johnny. I'm here at kind of DevCon and I hope everyone's having fun today. I'm like, yeah, not interesting.
In a way, Webcast is a bit like that for people from the outside.
Yeah, here's what I think. Dan and I, we talk all the time. He's an investor in Airstack, the parent company of Moxie. I've argued this for the longest time. I said, if all we do is take something that's Web 2 and add crypto rails to it, not interesting, right? It has to be that because of the crypto rails, we invent something new that you couldn't do before. I don't really think that the answer necessarily is about better content. I think it's about enabling people to do stuff they couldn't do elsewhere and then making that the content. I actually think Interface in some ways is better content than Farcaster because it's content that can't get anywhere else and you can act on it. I have opinions. See, I got a lot of opinions. Jason does not hold back.
Choose one of the two options that I'm going to give you. Washington Commanders win the Super Bowl in February because Jay Daniels smashes the game, or Kim Kardashian debuts her fan tokens on Moxie.
Oh, I'm going Kim Kardashian. And I know zero about Kim Kardashian, but my kind of whole heart and soul, everything I put my whole energy into is making Moxie work, and that would be a defining moment in our kind of cycle. So yeah, I would 100% go that direction. Great question, by the way.
You can only eat one dish for the rest of your life, or you lose your sense of smell.
So I can eat that dish, but I can't smell it.
You will either eat one dish for the rest of your life or you lose your sense of smell.
Oh, I'll eat the same dish over and over again. Yeah, that's not a problem. I thought this was a harder question to answer. That's no problem. I'll eat the same dish over and over.
Okay, what would that be?
I'd probably just have a good old cheeseburger every single day. Either that or sushi.
You can choose between a masterclass with Joël Robuchon, rest in peace.
He died. He's not around anymore, but yeah. Go ahead.
He has 31 Michelin stars, you probably know, or a spa weekend. What do you pick?
Definitely taking the masterclass. I want to learn something, and that would be like opportunity of a lifetime.
Cool.
Weekend doesn't excite me at all, actually. It's like I get bored.
We did a little bit of research and asked around, and you were described as one of the hardest working person. I also saw that you liked the TV series The Bear, which I watched last year, and I think we kind of have a similar perspective that it's useful for founders to watch it. So there is like one line that I want to take a quote from there, and for you to say how you can relate to it. You can spend all the time in the world in here, but if you don't spend enough time out there, can you relate to this?
Absolutely. I work my ass, but I don't just work. So I make a point of working out every single day. My spouse and I, we try to go out on a bike at 4 o'clock every day. And we actually watch a lot of TV. If you name any kind of current show, I've probably seen it. There's two things that I do that are the most like stress relieving. When you're focused on making a dish, you can't focus on work. There's the joy of making something and then presenting it to other people and having them enjoy it. That's one of the things why I love cooking. That's why I also like that people call me chef, because same thing in startups. You're making something that you're hoping other people find value from and enjoy.
And another reference from The Bear, the line from one of the characters. You ever think about the purpose?
The purpose for me is I want to leave a mark on the world. I'm fortunate enough, I've been starting companies for 20 years. I'm fortunate enough that I've had my share of success. You know, I sold a company really early in my career, Social Median, that had like a bidding war for it. And I own 97% of the company and we sold it for a great amount and just was very fortunate. I then founded a company called Fab.com, which was the craziest experience of a lifetime. We were like one of the fastest growing companies in history. Like we went from 0 to 120 million revenue in the first year of the company. We were a unicorn within 18 months. And then Amazon just crushed us. Like literally, we went to 0 within 3 years. The Hive is the highest ever, and people loved the product. People were raving about it. We were featured like cover of Forbes, Fortune magazine, everywhere. And then we got destroyed, crushed. And since then, I just been focused on how do you create products that people love. I want like when people say, okay, Jason was not just one of the hardest working people we ever knew, but he built stuff that people just love to use. That's what I really do this for.
I think you were really patient. I saw you reply to people that were asking about Moxie, like daily rewards and stuff. I was one of them, I think, at one point. But what makes you lose your patience?
The only time I'd say I lose my patience is when I feel like someone said they were going to do something and they didn't. And then anonymous shit posters. I'll lose my patience.
Who do you nominate to join us next in Los Fomos?
The Phantom Wallet, very awesome user experience.
We didn't have Phantom, I think.
Yeah. No, not yet.